Major League Journeymen, how we doing? We made a trade this past weekend. We got rid of Dax McCarty and we brought on somebody that could smash him with 1/8 of his resume. We got Jay DeMerit in the house today. Jay is reporting live from Vancouver as, I mean, maybe the epitome of what we all aspire to be as a journeyman. Jay, I like the stories that Gordo and I have obviously heard from you are they we could be on this call for the next 3 days straight. But I think where I would love to take our listeners is just some of the iconic moments that mean a lot to you. And I think that, we've spent some time together at TST. We've spent some time together on battling on the field. I've got to know you pretty well, and I think that where where your influence in the soccer space really kind of transcends all of us is your accessibility, but not only your accessibility, your desire to be a part of so many different pieces of this game because you have seen it from so many different angles. And I think that that is it's inspiring, but it's also engaging. And for guys like Gordo and myself that really, I think, love to be connected to the game, stay connected to the game, just see what it provides to so many different people. It's special to see somebody that has had the success that you have had in earning every bit of that success, and also the belief that now is kind of driving, I think, some of your next steps. So, first and foremost, thank you for jumping in because we appreciate you being here. But secondly, I wanted to open with just you kind of touching on the game that you had talked about with your eye surgery, because that's one of the ones that like just sticks out as almost unbelievable. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe if you put this in print and you just read it, you're like, oh yeah, that's fiction. That was fun. That was fun to read. I could read that to my kids. But if you could just articulate some of this for us and hear it from the mouth of the horse himself, I would love to just sit back and listen.
Oh man. Well, first off, thanks guys. Great to see you again. Boxes for life. What's going on? Um, yeah, I mean, this is the crazy story. Like again, like I've been so fortunate to be a part of the whole gamut of soccer. I've seen the depths of the depths to the highs of the highs. And again, that is my privilege. I'm so proud to be that story. And again, I shout it to the hills. And again, we'll get to that later of what we're doing now. But yeah, literally the craziest story I have is the World Cup story with my eye. Many people know that my journey from walking it, with a backpack over to England at 22, sleeping on attic floors, making a team, becoming captain of Watford. Like no one in America, and promoting to the Premier League and all this stuff, and like no one in America had even heard of me at that point. But
Hmm.
like at the end of the day, like now you make the national team because that is the vibe. Every player wants to play for the national team. That is the mecca. That is the idealistic world of the dream come true. To put your hand in your heart, national team. So that's of course mine. So I don't turn national team until 27. So I get my first cap at 27.
Uh-huh.
And just like any team, you got to wait. I got badass guys like Bocanegra and Gooch and all these guys in front of me. Like, I'm not going to step into that. Like, hey, I might be captain of Watford, but I'm not going to step in that. So I wait in the wings for about 2 years. We win a Gold Cup. I'm on the bench. I earn my stripes and whatever. Then all of a sudden, we get the Confederations Cup. And so the Confederations Cup is like my coming out party. So Carlos gets injured in the Gold Cup final. So we know that he's not going to play that first game. And so my first three starts are Italy, Brazil, and Egypt
Dude,
in South Africa.
I remember this just seeing that lineup and being like, "Holy Christmas. This is real soccer. Like these are real
Dude,
games."
100%. And you're playing again, and then we become the team. And again, the long story short, we'll get to the World Cup. But like the long story short is like this is this is the baptism of fire for me. Because if I come in and
Hmm.
I perform in those games, then I'm locked. And that's what I did. And so I
Hmm.
come in and I play those games. We snapped Spain's 4-year win streak. Like they hadn't lost in 4 years and we smashed them
Crazy.
2-0. Like again, like you watch that game, anybody goes watch that game. We beat Spain on purpose and we beat them good. And we beat them 2-0. And they were the best team in the
Hmm.
world. They haven't been touched for 4 years. And we locked them in and we beat them. And that showed the quality of that team, dude. And I was just I was a warrior on that team. That was my job. I was the warrior.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that was my job. And so we'll get to kind of how that works. But again, like we finished that summer and I'm playing in a Confederations Cup final against Brazil. You know what I mean? Like, and then all of a sudden, who the hell is this Jay DeMerit guy? Like, no one's ever heard of me.
Yep.
Like, no US soccer fan is like, who the fuck is this guy from Green Bay, Wisconsin? Like, what are you talking about? And so all of a sudden I am him and I get that, right? So I'm like, I'm here, I'm vibing, I'm captain of Watford. I'm at like we're in the championship, we're in the championship, the first division captain. I'm living life, all good. All my dreams are coming true. World Cup is six months away. And I wore contacts at the time. So, I train every day and I get a little dirt underneath it. I think I had just scratched my eye. So I'm like, we're on our way to Plymouth. So we play Plymouth in England. So we're on the bus and my eye's like annoying. So I go to the physio at the night. I'm like, dude, I don't know, something's up with my eye. I think I got something. Can we go to the eye doctor? So in the morning of the game, we go to the eye doctor, and he's like, yeah, I see a little scratch on your cornea. Cornea is the front, the ozone layer of your eye. And so he's like,
Yep.
it should be fine. You should be fine. Go to the game. If you can head balls and do things, play. If not, then take that game off, and you should be fine. Thinking nothing of it, right? So I go to the game. I'm starting to warm up with the keepers, and my head is just banging. It's just like, and so of course I can't look at floodlights and head balls for 90 minutes. Like I'm not doing that. Like
Hmm.
something's up. Like something's going on. So we get through the game. By the time we get back to London, it's like 3 in the morning, and my eye is like fully swollen shut. And I remember this for the day that I get to the bathroom of my buddy's house in the bus, and I'm like, I open up my eye, and my eye is green, and my eyeball, the center of your eye, your pupil, it's just a hole, right? It's just aperture.
Hmm.
It's like it just opens and closes about how much light. So it's not the black dot. The black dot was now white. So I had a white
Oh,
dot and a green and a
Jesus.
green and a green eye. And I'm like, holy shit, like what's going on? So they rushed me to the hospital, and the hospital, they're like, you have a very serious eye infection. It's level 5 staph. Like you are like you're it's not
You're
good.
gonna die.
And so the eye in the 1920s, it would have just ate my face and I would have been dead in a day. Like for real, like it was that severe. And so they're like, you have these eye drops. There's these strong antibiotic eye drops. She says the only problem is that when it kills the infection, it's going to kill the tissue it's attached to. So it's a race against time. So the first thing I had to do, and this, believe me, we'll get into suffering. So the first thing I had to do was 36 hours. I have to set my alarm and do every hour on the hour for 36 hours. I had to stand up, eye drop my eye, and then sit there and eye drop my eye and see how much money, or not money, how much we could save. And so in the end, after 36 hours, I lost 70% of my eye view to this infection. And so I basically had the state of Michigan as a scar in the
Holy
front of my eye in 36
moly.
hours. So the infection finally clears, it's done, the fix is over, but I got the state of Michigan in my right eye. I can't fucking see
Dude,
anything.
I'm assuming your technical staff or your front office was aware of all this at the time, right?
Yeah, well, they were there, but I couldn't drive. So I'm sitting at my goalkeeper's apartment who lived next to our training ground. I'm sitting in his living room in the dark on his couch trying to sleep. Like not sleep, but not sleep. Of course I can't sleep. The fucking my eye is infected to the zombie level 9. And
Did,
so,
did it hurt or was it
oh my
like,
God, it's excruciating pain. Think about your eye full of pus. That's what that white dot
Oh,
is. It's full of
God.
pus. It was disgusting. And
Yeah.
would like turn off color. And I'm waking up every hour on the hour. And so, okay, so I go to the surgeon, and thankfully, this is the thing. Again, remember, now timeline, back to timeline. We're 6 months from the World Cup.
Right.
And
Okay.
I am the only
No
option for me,
pressure.
the only option for me, the only option for me is to like, okay, well, what are some solutions here? Like, I don't know, but thankfully, and again, this is all part of the story. It's like Moorfields Hospital in London is the best eye hospital in the world.
yeah,
And they have the greatest doctors. Everyone from Europe flies in to Moorfields in London, and it's the best eye hospital in the world. So it happens to be at my doorstep. I live in London. I'm playing for Watford. We have the best care. We have the best doctors. And there's a guy, the doctor, Julian Stevens, and he's like, he does all the air pilots, he does all the royalties, eyes, and all this stuff. So he's like, again, surgeons are fucking badass. And they're like, he's like, I'll take it on. He's like, I'm going to get you to play in that World Cup. And so he takes it on, but it's a very, very strict protocol. And the first protocol is I can't see, so I got to get a corneal replacement. That's an organ donor, right? So I got to get somebody else's ozone layer that just died and put it in my eye and get a window replacement, essentially is what I got to do. And so I'm like, okay, strict protocol. Turns out that the biggest corneal bank in the world is in North Carolina. And it was an American cornea because Americans are all organ donors and we have this huge population. And so organs, corneas aren't hard to find. Like they're not like I don't have to wait in line for an organ donor, for that kind of stuff. The corneas, there's a bank,
Okay.
there's a million of them. And so it just so happens I get one
Gordo,
from the
keep that in
States.
mind if you ever need one.
They're just feeling,
That's right.
they
Just
don't
in
even
case you need a
ask,
new window.
they don't even ask the dead, they're just like, okay, we'll take this cornea. We'll put
Yeah,
it
that's the.
Yeah,
You're not
they
going to
take
need
them.
that later.
Yeah, no, you
They
won't.
take them. And again, just so people know, like the cornea is like if your eyeball is a planet, your cornea is like the ozone layer.
Yeah.
And so like you can take it out. And so if the surface of your eye gets disrupted, you can replace it with like a window and in your eyeball. And so that's what they did. And so the strict protocol was, okay, let's do it. And I'm a designer, like I have a degree in design. So I'm like into it. So I'm like at 3D printers. Like they're like, okay, like look at your eye and here it is. And so they map it all out. So it's like they take the scar and they map it all out. And then they basically do the same exact print on the cornea. They cut it out into the exact same shape, right? And then they dovetail. I don't know if you know anything about woodworking, but dovetail joint is when they cut it at an angle. So when you put it in, it can't come out. So they do the same thing. Even in that little bit of cornea, they cut it at an angle and it's a floppy piece of tissue. So they open it up, put it into the ozone and they let it go. And then it writes itself back into the plant. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so that's what they do. So they cut it and then they put a stitch. And so I had a stitch in my eye, circumference stitch, one single starburst stitch. Okay. So you starburst stitch is when it goes zigzag the whole way through, but it's one stitch and then one little knot. Okay. So this becomes really important because this is how we adjust the site, because shaping corneas, contacts are just little pieces of plastic that take that little jelly ball and they shape it in a way that makes you see properly. That's what a contact does. Yeah. And so they essentially did the same thing. So the first bit of protocol, get the transplant done. Say transplant done. Okay, cool. The first set, sit in your house for 3.5 weeks in the dark. Oh. And so I basically had to sit in my apartment in London in the dark by myself. I had a stationary bike delivered from the club to my apartment. My shades were down the whole time because you cannot impede healing. If you go outside and you see the sunlight, oh, water, okay, now my nose blocks, and now all of a sudden now it's disrupted. If you look at a TV, oh, now my eyes watering, and now I'm now disrupted. I can't look at a TV. I can't look at, and I couldn't look at TV. Dude, imagine you look at a laptop screen and turn the brightness up. Are you kidding me? Like it makes your eyes go crazy.
You're in prison. You're in the hole.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. I mean,
solitary
that's
confinement.
Well, if you want to look at it that way, but I'm not like that. You guys know me. I'm not like that. I don't think about that. I think about things I can do, not think about things I cannot do and why life sucks. I think about why life's awesome. And so, so what I did in those moments was just really get inside myself. Like I've always been a pretty good self-talker. I've always been a really super positive person and I know what I'm capable of. And I had the faith of the doctors that he could get me going. So get me on the protocol and get me going. I'm in. Let's do it. And so if that means I got to sit in the dark for 3.5 weeks and listen to music and wake up and make my tea and then hop on the stationary bike with my fucking eye patch and do a couple rounds and get a little sweat on and do my things. And again, like
just part of the process.
Yeah, exactly. Like get back to process, dude. And that's what design school taught me. Product design, and I'm a product at this point. I'm the product. I have a degree in product design, but product design is concept, product, process. Do it, make it, do it, put it to the world. Did it work? Cool. Feedback, cool. Do it again. Like that's the same mindset I have. It's like, okay, I got a new thing. I got to do this. I got to sit in the dark. And so that's what I did. I had a pretty strict protocol of like what I could do and what I couldn't do. I couldn't put pressure on my eye, but yet I had to let it heal because that first 3.5 weeks of healing was going to create that first scar. So I can now go play. So month 1, darkness, thoughts, self-talk. I'm making this World Cup. I've been way too long, way too far. I am never fucking letting this thing
Mm-hmm.
go ever. Like I'm focused, I'm dialed. So I do that. And 3.5 weeks later, oh, actually, sub note, I go get my, by the way, I'm like, fuck this, I'm going left eye. So I went back to the eye office, got my left eye lasered so I'd never have to wear contacts. So for 1 week of that, I was completely blind.
Do it all.
I'll
Hey,
remember
this
this for the rest of my
this
life.
isn't hard enough. Let me make it a little tougher on myself.
Well, dude, I'm not gonna wear contacts in my left eye. No way, dude. I'm like, I'm done with this eye shit. I'm like, I'm taking it. I'm just gonna be clear, and we're gonna figure it out. So I got my left eye done while my right eye was healing, and so I'll
Yeah.
remember this for the rest of my life. I walked out of Moorfields Hospital, and I could not see, and they just said, walk out the door and just look down, and you'll get to the cab line. And so I walked down. I couldn't see a thing, and I just looked down, and I waited. I walked very slowly out, and I walked to the cab line, and then I saw again, like think of like you're in a like a muted view. Like I couldn't see anything. And I see this little cab light, little London cab comes, beep, beep, come in. I come in, get in there, close my eyes, get back to my apartment.
Dude, Jay, as
So I
you
was
can see,
completely
I'm
blind
still
for a
wearing
week.
I'm wearing glasses right now. So I haven't gone through this process. Were you like scared at any point in time?
Yes, scared shitless. Of course I'm scared.
Okay.
Like when you think I can't
Okay.
even see, how the fuck am I going to play against Ronaldo or Wayne Rooney or whoever we're about to play in this World Cup? Like what? Like I'm not even thinking about that in all honesty. I'm just thinking about what I can do right now so I can see again. And so
Mm-hmm.
really again, really going back into the focus of the process is really where I kept my mindset. And then
Yeah.
this attainable goal that's over there is still available. So I'm just doing what I can right now to make sure that it is. And so that's really where my mindset was at that moment. I listen to music, I like dancing, I'm partying and doing all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'd like to do that anyway. So I'm just listening. Music was my gift. Like I love music. I'm sitting there doing a lot of that, the kind of darkness stuff. Back then they didn't have podcasts, but I've probably been listening. I've been crushing podcasts, but they didn't have anything like that back then. So I'm kind of just sitting there. So anyway, month 2 starts. I got a stitch in my eye. So thankfully, Malky Mackay, he's the manager now at Watford. He was my old center back partner. So we were great friends. And so he's like, Jay, if you still got an opportunity to play in the World Cup, let's fast track you. He's like, so I started to train. So I had like a protective contact that I made that they put over my eye, and with a certain thing that helped shape the cornea. And so I would play. And again, like I'm like heading, like I'm not trying to head balls yet, but I'm like, first I get into fitness. Month 2 is about getting into fitness, getting ball work, and then I'd take a tennis ball home, and then they'd have
Uh-huh.
me play video games. So the two ways you create eye contact and hand-eye coordination is through video games and then tennis balls. And so I'd sit
Right.
there in my apartment and just like sit there and just do this stuff, like to retrain my eyes to do all this stuff. And then I play video games like Mario Kart and stuff like that. And so I just like, like all these kind of things. And so that was kind of part of the recovery process. So month 3 comes in, and now he's like, I'm going to play you. I'm going to play you. So then now I'm playing with a stitch in my eye. And so I'm playing again. I'm captain of the team. So I'm back on, armbands on, and I'm back out and playing. I'm not going to say I'm playing that great, but I'm playing. And so that's what I got to
Yeah.
get. I got to get back to game speed. You guys know what it's like when you come back from weird injuries. You got to get back to do that, especially when you got to see and you got to head.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm on probably some pretty strong painkillers for what I'm doing. But the most annoying thing was the fucking stitch. Like imagine you have
Yeah.
a stitch in your eye and you have a knot, you have to you have to end the stitch. And so that's a
Yeah.
knot. So imagine that.
Yeah.
You know how many times a day you blink?
Oh,
Yeah. That sounds
It's a
brutal.
stupid amount anyway. But anyway, so every time I blink, I can feel this little thing rubbing the inside of my eyelid. So if you think
that's
about like
so
mental
annoying.
health and
That
like
is
all this
so
stuff, so
annoying.
it's just like, yeah. So anyway, this is again, this is the greatest story I have, and it does take a while. But okay, so now I'm in month 3. We're all good. I'm playing. It's all good. So now I get a call from Bob. This is the best part. So Bob calls me and he's like, "Hey Jay, you're my guy. Like I don't know. This has been the craziest thing, and I'm really sorry that this has happened to you. But again, this is the thing. I see your guy, but he said like this is the U.S. national team, and we are on a high, and I gotta know if you're still my guy." He's like, "So I need to call you in for our next friendly." And he's like, "I'm like, cool. Well, where is it?" He's like, "At Amsterdam Arena against Holland."
Oh, just
So that's my comeback game. with an eye. I got to go to Amsterdam and play against
Here's your reintroduction.
Robin Van Persie and Dirk Kuyt. Yeah, cool. Sounds awesome. Let's get me back onto that field. But I'm calling. But again, like, yes, that's his job. That's what he's doing. So
Right.
but thankfully it's break. So now I don't got to. At least I don't got to do it like 12 hours to Costa Rica. You know what I mean? Like at least it's in Europe. So I'm in London. So it's like a hop and a jump over to Amsterdam. So I'm like, okay. And again, I'm still at the point, dude. Like I got to know if I'm ready. Like I'm gonna be honest with myself too. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. And so he called me in. Um, I think we lost 2-1 or something. But again, I did an all right account of myself. I don't think I made too many mistakes. I do again, like my whole life, and this is true, and you guys know me because you see me play, like my game is so simple. Like win it, give it, win it, give it, lead it, organize it, win it, give it. Like it's, I don't want the ball. I suck at soccer. I just give me the ball. I'm gonna win it. I'm gonna beat that person. I'm gonna disrupt that dude. I'm gonna make sure that his day is miserable, and then I'm just gonna win it and then give it to somebody that's better than me. That's the job. For me, that was always
Uh-huh.
my job. And so it never changed, no matter what I was in a park in England playing against the ninth division or playing against Messi. Like it's the same thing for me. I don't give a shit. Like that's
Yeah.
my job. And
Yeah.
so I just apply that in those situations where it's like, oh my God, it's Amsterdam Arena, it's Holland. I'm like, I got one job to do. Take that guy, shut him down, win the ball, give it to Landon, give it to Michael,
Did
give it
those
to
moments
Ricardo,
ever
give it to Stu.
intimidate you, or did you like? I mean, I think you're oversimplifying how good you were, which I appreciate. But also at the same time, I know that those moments are that maybe they're not everyday moments, right? Playing in Amsterdam, but did they intimidate you to I don't know adjust your focus at all, or were you in that time in that space able to simplify what your approach was and remain consistent?
Yes, and that's always the thing. My remaining to stay consistent was my gift. It was I was a
Yeah.
consistent player. Like it didn't matter if I was in a park or in Amsterdam. It didn't matter to me. Like I know what I'm good at. I know what I do, and I go in and do it. And so
Yeah.
that just remains. And so that's always the mindset when you walk into these big, potentially mind-blowing experiences if you go the wrong direction. You can't. You got to
Hmm.
stick to your guns. You got to know what you're good at and go out there and do it. Like that's the best way to do anything with the
Yep.
tunnel mentality of that I created for myself. And it
Yep.
started many moons ago when I walked out at Watford on my trial. It's like, and that's a whole other story altogether. But like, it's like I know what I'm good at. I know it, and the same thing applies here. Fuck the eye. Who cares where it is? Who cares? What player am I playing against? How can I unlock them? And how do I go and do that? And then go give me that ball, and I'm gonna give it to somebody else.
Yeah. God, dude, keep going. Keep
And
going.
so anyway, okay. So now, and so again, thanks, Bob. He calls me in. We're all good. And so he's like, okay, Jay, that was impressive. He's like, I don't know how the hell you're doing this, but all good. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll finish my season. So I finished the season with Watford. I think we finished like mid-table in the championship. It's all good. And so now we got 2-week break, right? So seasons in Europe finished end of May, mid to end of May, and then team meets up like beginning of June, right? So I got a week and a half. I go home, I go to my cabin, you know, partying with my friends and having a great time. I'm about to potentially go to a World Cup. I'm stoked. And I call my surgeon and he's like, Jay, he's like, come in one more time because I want to look at it. He says, the scar is looking really good. He says, I think I'm going to take the stitch out because the last thing you want to be doing is blinking. I know how annoying it is. Like, let's take it out. So I'm like, okay, I trust my surgeon. We're all good. I go to the eye doctor, takes it out. I fly home. It's all good. So we have our warm up game against Turkey in Philadelphia at the Eagles Stadium, and then we go to the White House.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I play against Turkey, and it's all good. Like Turkey's okay. Like, and I play all right. Like I'm not like setting lights on fire, but like I'm all right. I'm still in the starting lineup. I'm good. Again, I'm looking at the World Cup. It's all good. But I'm also like my depth perception is kind of there, but I'm not asking too many questions yet because I'm just happy to be there. So now we fly next day, meet Obama, go to the flight, then we fly to South Africa.
Yeah.
We land in South Africa, and then we have a warm up game because obviously most teams, Africa's first World Cup tournament, most teams got there the week and a half early and had one friendly game. So ours was against Australia.
Okay.
And so we go in and I'm marking Tim Cahill, and I'm literally like I'm missing balls. I am not able, I am not able to judge right now. I don't know
Uh,
what's going on, but I know that my perception is way off. And so by the end of the game, I'm just like marking him. Like I got him and I'm going where he's going. If he goes up, I'll go up with him. I'll guess and I'll do things, but something's up. Like I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but definitely I cannot see out of my right eye. So I go to Ivan, and after the game, I'm like, Ivan, like something's up. We got to go to an eye doctor. I got to see what's up. And so I'm like, you can tell Bob or not tell Bob. I don't care. Like, but something's up. Like, let's not tell Bob, but let's figure out what's going on. So we go to the eye doctor, and what guards? What's your prescription? Are you like a -3? Are you a -4.5? -2?
3.5, I think.
Okay, so you're a -3.5. So when I wore contacts, I was a -2.75.
Uh-huh.
I go to the eye doctor, and my right eye had collapsed to a -6.
Oh my God.
And my
I'm assuming
scar,
that's pretty bad.
Where was
my
your left?
scar,
Was your left eye good?
yeah, no, my left eye was lasered. My left eye is
Oh
perfect,
my
like better than
God.
right.
Yeah.
But now
So you're all
but
over the
then,
place.
no, but the scar didn't hold. My cornea collapsed.
Oh my God. Come on. Are you
My
kidding
cornea
me?
collapses. I got fucking England in 6 days. My cornea collapses and I'm back to blind in my right eye. -6 is blind. You can't see anything.
Yeah.
So I'm
Dude, minus
playing.
3.5 is blind. Like I
So I
can't
finished
see anything
exactly.
without these
So
things.
I finished the game at a -6 in my right. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like asking the African doctors, they're laughing at me. I'm like, can you do anything? Like, do you have contacts or anything like this? For like, he's like laughing. He's like, no, we don't have contacts here. Like, we can wear glasses. And like thinking of like, I gotta wear like rec specs or something.
Were you and Bobby Convey both playing with rec specs
Yeah.
on?
Going on. Like, come on, let's play. But I was like, okay. So now I'm 6 days out. England, USA, England, the marquee matchup, Group C.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. Like, what the fuck? So I call my surgeon. I'm like, Julian, it this is not working. Something happened. Cornea collapsed. Like, it's done. Like, he's like, okay, well, I can make you that contact. He's like, but how can I get it to you? Because at World Cups, like there's no shipping, right? You can't like ship me a package because we have like
Lockdown.
police escorts, 3 cops, a helicopter everywhere we go. We are so protected.
Hmm.
There's no just terrorism. There's no shipping. It's like what you need for the cup is what you have on the plane, like nothing. And so
Uh-huh.
I'm like, okay, cool. Well, what can we do? She's like, my agent was English at the time. Okay, so he's like, I'm coming to the England game, but I don't land until the day of the game. I'm like, well,
Come on.
I'm like,
Major play.
that's the play. And so essentially I had my -2.5. So I trained that week. Bob knew. And so it's just like light training anyway. We're not doing that hard stuff. I can do fitness. I can do all the things, little tactical things. I was always shit at 5v2 anyway, so I'm not really playing. So like whatever. So I'm just like there. And so I'm moving around. I'm staying fit. I'm in the tactics. I'm doing all this stuff. We get through training in a week. And the best part about this is that, USA England becomes the marquee matchup, but it's also like the week of prep. And so during the week of prep, we know what their starting lineup is going to be. It's going to be Wayne Rooney up front, Emil Heskey next to him, right? So Emil Heskey, 6'2", 6'3",
Yep.
absolute bull, plays for
Hmm.
Liverpool, like all the stuff. So again,
Hmm.
and then you got Wayne Rooney, Manchester United, Premier League Player of the Year, 38 goals, like I think that year, best player in the world. And so they're like, let's just go like for like. Gooch, you bang with Emil, Jay, you're on Wayne, right? So I am walking in to literally the best player in the world that I got a man
Yeah.
mark this
Yeah.
dude the whole time, right?
Holy shit.
Not to mention I can't fucking see at all.
Dude, we
And
played
so
Man U, just to give you some context from my perspective, we played Man U with the Galaxy and we got waxed, but I also got to see Wayne up close and personal at their pinnacle. They were coming off. That was when Louis Van Gaal took him over. So Wayne was like, he was kind of the
he
whole,
was a
whole
stud of
team. But
studs. He was a
Gordo,
stud
you
of
can
studs, and
you
he's
can yeah, you can comment on this. They were on their P's and Q's because he basically Van Gaal came in and told him like, hey, you guys can piss off if you don't want to be a part of this. Wayne's movement was insane. Like genuinely like a ghost of just he would pop up in these spots. You'd have no idea. You wouldn't see him. He'd just disappear. And then he could fly. And they all got into the box so fast. This is incredible. Just your mindset going into this. Sorry,
Okay, yeah. So
I'm
now,
kind of blown
okay, so
away by
now I'm
this right
like, we're
now.
leading up to the game. Okay, so we're up in I think a Bloemfontein or Pretoria. I can't remember where that game was off the top of my head. But either way, it's like a 4 hour trip from where Johannesburg is, where the flights come in. So we have a motorcycle courier meet my agent down at the airport in Johannesburg and drive up the contact. And so at literally 3 p.m. on that day, I get this contact and I look in the mirror and I
Game
just go,
day, 3 p.m.
and I get game day, 3 p.m. I put my contact in. It's like I can see for the first time. And I'm like, oh my
Oh my
God,
God.
I can see.
That's like a
Let's,
superpower.
yes, dude. I was like, oh my God, like everything else, nothing else matters. I don't give a shit who I'm playing. I can play. I can play and I can do what I need to do. And I'm going to go crush that dude. And literally, we walk out against England. And again, thankfully, I got some dogs named Michael Bradley and Ricardo Clark in front of me. But watch the tape. Wayne Rooney did not have a touch in the box for 75 minutes.
You're on
That's
them.
amazing.
He didn't touch the ball in the box for 75 minutes because we just didn't let him. I
Just
didn't
eating
let
his
him. I didn't
lunch.
let him touch it. I didn't let him see it. I didn't let him touch it. Like he could not move anything because we were just locking him down. And everywhere he went, on him, and did little touches, little pieces, and little nudges, and little hand checks, and all the stuff. And he just hated it because I love guys like that, that tenacity guys. Like I can match mindset with anybody. Like give me that,
Uh-huh.
and so again, like he's littler. I could beat him in the air. Play it up top, cool. I'll win it. If you
Yep.
play it on the ground, cool. I'm fast and I can get around you. It's like so. Okay, I just unlocked him the whole time. Just never let him get comfortable and never let him touch it. And for 75 minutes, he didn't touch the ball in the box.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, that's like the reason I asked you to tell that story, the perseverance, triumph, solutions, like I feel like all of those things are what kind of encapsulate you as a person, but also as a player. Yeah, maybe and leadership is another one I think that I would throw out at you. And dude,
Well,
that's wild. The
well,
context in that is insane.
I mean, think about that. I mean, that is serious. I've not heard that story before. Maybe you've told me, but usually when we're together, we're drinking, and so I could have forgot, you know. But it was nice to
When there's
hear.
too many, like again, like we can talk about the Algeria game and my tongue splitting in half and like playing 87 minutes. And when Landon scores, like I played 87 minutes of that game with a half a tongue because I got elbowed in the third minute and my split my tongue in half and I had to get stitches and they had 8 stitches in my tongue after, but it takes 20 minutes, so I can't come off.
Yeah.
And so that game when we beat Algeria to finish and win the group, I had a half
Yeah.
a tongue the whole time.
But
Dude,
then
that whole story is nuts. Like again, that's a whole nother thing. And this is
it just takes me, if we're gonna correlate this to the national team today, right? And guys sitting out, to take a break or whatever. And that's we're not even going to get into that, right? But here's a guy, Jay DeMerit, that would do literally anything to be on the field, even if he had to go on the field blind, right? And
Hmm.
you could have taken the debt, but you had to do it because it meant that much to you. And now guys are playing, they just have different paths, dude. They have different paths, and they're up here on the world stage, and it feels like the national team is kind of below them or underneath them,
mm.
right?
Well, no,
And
no, and
you
it's yeah,
you're
keep going.
you're you're fighting, and these are the stories that we need, because you would have died on that field. Nobody was taking you off. You didn't know if your agent was going to get you that contact, but you're like, Bob, I'm in, bro. Like I am in. One eye, two eyes, 0.5% or none. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it at the best of my ability. And it means that much. Like you said, put your hand on the heart, and for you being, you know over 40 or however old you are, these are the stories that you get to take away. Like every game means something, dude, and it presents something and some story of some war and some battle within your mind, in your head, that nobody watching that game knew that. Nobody
Hmm.
knew about
Nobody,
your up to
still
it.
nobody knows it.
Still nobody knows. I mean, it's insane, dude. And
Yeah.
that's the pride that we need on this team going into that World Cup, is guys that are willing to die, to do anything to be on that team, because it means so much. Agreed or not?
No, and again, I think again you're hitting the nail right on the head. But for me, the word that comes to mind is suffering. And I read a lot of articles on entrepreneurs. I'm an entrepreneur now, and I was thinking I was reading this article on the NVIDIA guy, and he talks about no,
Hmm.
it's the ones that are able to suffer are the ones that build true character, and there's the true character that allows these performances and these results to happen. And I
Yep.
just don't think to answer full questions like again, like you think it walking out in front of that was hard? Do you know what's really hard? Sitting in the dark for 3.5 weeks with a fucking eye
Hmm.
stitch and just with yourself. That's hard. That
Hmm.
stadium is a privilege. If I can't get
Right.
up and do my
Right.
performance in that, then I am not who I say I am. Because so for me, like I had done all the hard work. That's the easy part. Some people will think that's the hardest thing you'll ever do.
That's
No,
the
it's
reward.
not. And that's this for me. I had
Hmm.
suffered so much in that 6 months. And that's why this story is so relevant to the mentality. You think once I put that locked in, dude, I became a superhero because I could actually see. Let's go
Yeah,
back to fundamentals. Can
yeah.
you win a
Hmm.
ball and see? If that's a yes, then go and do it. You know what I mean? Like that's enough for me. I don't care who's the name on the sheet, what stadium am I in, and what occasion am I in. Fuck that. Who cares? I can see and I can play. Let's go play. And so that's literally what my foundation of thought and mindset was. And then the rest was just easy. And so that was really where again one of my abilities to be able to deal with that in mindset and create that perspective for myself, I think, is the gift. But it's also something that we're all capable of. It's thought and it's perspective and it's preparation and it's doing what you can at the time to make sure that when that moment comes, you're absolutely ready. And I was doing all those things in the background. And the I part was just the end. And then once I saw
Dude.
lights out.
That's
Jay,
what
are
people.
you doing any more of your camps? Are you still doing the Rise and Shine camps?
I am, yeah. No, I do them. I got one this summer. I'm actually doing. Normally, I do four. I do the month of August, but because of the road trip and the Rise and Shine thing that we're doing, it was supposed to be this summer. Now, with the tech development of the app that we're building, which we'll get to, that's coming in the fall now. So, like, I didn't plan camps this summer because, but yes, and so that was kind of the whole idea of like my whole world of experience as I came out of the game was like, how do I take this holistic experience? I'm the crazy
Yeah,
anomaly,
how are
dude.
you sharing that
Like, how
approach?
do
Tell
I?
our listeners how you're sharing the approach, your approach, because
Yeah.
it
So
is
when I
so
came out of the
unique and
game,
special.
when I came out of the game, again, I was the anomaly story on the way in. There's why Rise and Shine was a documentary and why it got turned into a documentary, and Kickstarter. People I don't even know, thousands of people donated to turn my story into a documentary film. Like that was the craziest thing to springboard my purpose into something else, which is Rise
Hmm.
and Shine. And that
Hmm.
was like no parent can tell me that their kid can't make it pro if they're holistic. You can say some other technical director, but you can't say that to me because I did it.
Hmm.
And that's the best part
Yeah.
about my program and why I was able to do this over the last decade. And so when I came out of the game, I started working for Watford and I was working for the Whitecaps and it was just I'm selling Kool-Aid I don't believe in. I'm a part of a system I didn't come from. You know what I mean? Like it seems very foreign to me. And so when I came out, I was
Hmm.
living in the mountains. My former partner, she's Olympic gold medalist in skiing. So we had this place, and I was like, why don't I do a retreat camp? And then I'll bring in this holistic environment. Again, I have a degree in design. I was trained in the arts. I was an artist before I was an athlete. And so I use that as a foundation of my truth. And so can I build a holistic camp where all these kids they can learn soccer from me? So it's like masterclass live is essentially what I created as I came out of the game 10 years ago. So I bring
Okay.
up 20, 30 kids. 32 kids is the max I've ever done at a camp. 20 is my gem. That's what I like to do, 20 kid camps. If I got 200 kids in the field, that's just me trying to make money. I'm not trying to develop those kids. Here's the cone, there's the mascot, there's the captain. Yay. We'll all come in and we'll develop these kids. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? That, yeah, right. You're telling the wrong thing. You're lying. They're not going to say that any club anywhere, but that's what they're doing. They're just trying to make
Yeah.
money. They're trying to create revenue. That's cool. I don't want to make money off kids. I want to create development for them, and I wanted them to do it and see it through the lens that I saw because I did it. And so that becomes very relevant. And so that's what Rise and Shine is. And so I started that 10 years ago. I started to do these things in person, summer camps, but every day I have a mentor that's professional at something else. Because when you're the captain of the clubs, I'm at all the events. I knew every surgeon in town. I know every entrepreneur. I know the head chefs at all the restaurants. I know the guys that run, like again, EA, the big video game company. So every day I'd bring up like an engineer from EA that makes the video game, and we'd do a workshop around their life. Or I'd bring up the head chef, and we'd cook a meal with these kids. And again, I don't say kids; these are teenagers, these are young adults, these are 13s to 20s. We're not talking about little kids that are running around picking dandelions. These are dialed in,
Impressionable minds. Yeah.
impressionable minds built off high performance. And now we live in this social media driven world. So I'm like, hey, guys, this actress, she's on the 100. She's coming up tomorrow. She's awesome. She's super cool. She's my really good friend. Guess who's coming up tomorrow? You're going to learn how to act, and we're going to do some scenes from her famous show. Guess what do they do? Oh, guess what? They go to this thing and they Google and they go, oh my God, Tashi Tellis is coming up here tomorrow. She's got 1 million followers on Instagram, and I get to learn acting from her. Oh my
Mm.
God, this is cool. This is soccer camp. And so that's what I did for 10 years. And in about 5 years ago, I had this concept of like I seeing all these things in person. So by the end of the week, they meet a head chef at a restaurant, the lead designer at EA, and another athlete. I helicoptered in 3 NHL players to do like street hockey games. And we had
It's
three
awesome.
NHL active hockey players that are my buddies. They all train in the off season here. And they helicoptered into the land, and we had to like a hockey day, but they sat in front of the kids to share their stories and talk about high performance. That's the thing. Like we forget when we're trying to develop,
Yeah.
it's not a skill set, it's a mindset. And so how we create those programs becomes very important to creating a mindset. If you create a high performance mindset, you can do whatever you want. And so instead, we're trying to create high performance skill sets and then say, oh, work on your mind. It actually doesn't work that way. Work on your mind,
Mm.
and then you can do whatever you want and make as many
Hmm.
skills as you want and add to those skills and all those things. So that's always been my concept of education, always been my concept of development. It's like start there, start here. What do you like? What are you good at? Where are your passions? If you don't know what they are, check out this cool chef, check out this cool engineer, check out this cool neuroscience expert that's going to teach you how to do breath work and calm your anxiety. All great skills. But when you actually put all those names on paper, all of us actually have the same story. It's just the name tag and the job title that's different. That's it. The head chef does the same
Mm.
thing. Oh, I interned at this, and then I went to this head chef, and
Hmm.
he was like, I interned under him, and then I had to do this, and I got fired from my first restaurant because I came in with my own ideas, and I had to go through that, and then I got this job, and then I had to do it. It's the same thing,
Yep.
but we're never putting those people in the same place, and that's the biggest issue. And so I was like, I need to create a program that does this. And so as we did that, I saw the scalability of it, and that's when I approached EA because EA was the founding partner of the Whitecaps. I was the founding captain of the Whitecaps, so I knew all these executives. So I was like, can I take this program of mixed mentorship, gamification, fun, cool things with celebrities and brands that these kids already love and follow, but then make it interactive
Hmm.
and make it fun and put it all in one place in one digital area? And I pitched EA, and we got in the room with the heads exec, head of marketing, head of brand, and all these things because they were my friends. And so I walked in there, me and my co-founder. This was 4 years ago now, and we pitched them, and they bought it in the room, and they gave us. They're like, well, 2 million was our original raise. They're like, 2 million is too much. It's going to take too long, too much red tape for us. But all of us, through the power of our EA, we have the power to any of us to write a 250K check. So we're going to give it to you. We're going to give you $250,000 to see what you can do with it. So we built it, built the first prototype. COVID hits, and we sit in the dark for 2 years. All the startup capital is burned. We raised a couple other angels, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we filmed with masks. We have designers. We've shot chefs. We've shot athletes. We've shot professional skiers. We've shot great content. We have 90 episodes already in the bank. But then we sat dormant for a year and a half. And I basically sold everything I own. I had a house. I had a Banksy. I had a '69 Camaro. I sold it all because I needed to. I have a kid. I have a lifestyle. Like I can't. I'm not going to focus on this and go get some job as a technical director at a club. Like I'm not going to go do that. I don't care. This is my mission. This is my new
Hmm.
purpose. This is what Rise and Shine is. I'm doing it. And so I sold everything I had over the last couple of years, and literally as COVID finally cleared, risk capital started to come back, but the mental health pandemic still remained.
Hmm.
And so we couldn't be more relevant. And so we started to pitch again, and now we've just raised. And so now we've got enough seed capital. We're going to launch in the fall, and we're going to show the world what we got. And it's an app that's built around the brain. So your profile is not your face, it's your brain. And so your kids can actually look at themselves for the first time instead of trying to be like everybody else. And so the whole concept and the behavior we try to build through the app is that first it's you. If you know you, and this is actually a long-winded story about how this all happens, how I did what I did because I knew myself. I knew myself enough. I had an education. I had great support system through my parents and my friend groups to support me through my risks and through my troubles. I had enough skill sets in my repertoire to know how to take care of myself, to know how to be disciplined, to know how to show up on time, to surrender and struggle. And all of these soft skills that I had developed through my holistic upbringing, not my academy product, meals paid for, laundry folded bullshit that are creating the products that have no idea what suffering actually is to be a good character in this life. Like we got to take all that shit away and now give it back. And so that's the goal. That's the biggest mission is to give it back and say, start with you. When you log into the app for the first time, you meet yourself and then you're at your brain and it's split into the 10 forms of intelligence. And then musicians and artists and actors and athletes are all going to fill those in while you watch these episodic masterclasses and gamify the whole experience. And so Gordo talks about scoring in a playoff final and lifting a trophy. And then it was like, and then it goes into a quiz and it said, what year was that? How many years had the LA Galaxy been in the league? So they gamify the experience. And this is where we start to score points of the retention of the knowledge of the masters, of the classes and all these things. And then you take those points and then you cash them out on things like be a special guest on this podcast, get a signed jersey from Gordo. There's lots of reward layers you can give away just by learning about the story in between. And so that's what we've created. We've created a new content engine that's going to allow those 3 layers to be participant. We're starting to sign up clubs. We are on with the Wisconsin Loons this week. Again, I'm at 0%. You guys work in youth soccer. You guys have been coaches. I've been to every club. I know a bunch of people all around the world of soccer, and I am at 0% when I say, hey, technical director, do you have a digital, holistic learning source for your kids?
Hmm.
0.0% of clubs have that.
Hmm.
Because A, they're not going to spend the money to create their own online learning program. And B, they don't care. They're not trying to do that. They're trying to find the next Messi. They don't care. They say they care, but they don't.
Hmm.
And so now we can start to plug into the clubs and be like, hey, it's fine. You can say it's yours if you want, but here's all this holistic content while your kids are on the way to the games, while they're doing all these other things, when they're in the hour trip to go play, surf down the road, while they're in the van. Watch this mindset episode from these cool sports psychologists from West Ham talking about how these episodes, clear their minds for game time. These kids are going to eat it all up. And then we're making fun the whole time, but they're learning about themselves the whole time too, because we know 99.9 of them are going to go do something else. But we stand in front of that in their process, in their education and development to get to that point so they can leave with a smile on their face instead of face planting and having identity crises and mental health crises at 18, 19 years old, because that's what's happened to 95% of kids that don't get the scholarship and the 1% that gets to make it to the MLS. So what happens to the 95? They're all here sitting in identity crisis and wondering how to re-identify themselves at 17, 18. It's like, what? We provided that experience, that shitty experience for you to think that you're one thing, parental pressure and all these things because they pay to play. And then at the end, it all blows up for 95% of families. And that for me wasn't good enough because I don't come from that. I don't care about that. I'm trying to create a new system that can help them understand that it's not about them. It's about you. If we're trying to develop, that's how we do it.
That's amazing. I remember, sitting some long nights with you and hearing that for the first time. And I was blown away. That was, a year or two ago. I'm really, it just you can't listen to that and not be um, just kind of blown away, man. Because I have kids that are teenagers. Like you said, I talk and coach kids consistently and constantly, and everything you say hits is spot on from a guy that has been all the way through it in the hardest way possible. But it is all about, that's what everybody misses, with it's about mindset. It's not about the best player. You can do personal trainings all the time. There's millions and millions and I tell people this all the time because I have a similar story. All three of us, very similar. We were never the best players in any facet of our careers. We were never. We were just guys that could level up when you get on the field because our mindsets were killers. We were going to win. We had to win because of how we were raised, that this was it for us, and guys, and
When you
it's
even talk about
about,
the Rays, like the support system, right? So like again, you want to go deeper into the layers, that support. Like
yeah,
you're willing to take risk when you're supported. Imagine having a digital community with leaderboards and cool competitions where we feel like we're part of something bigger than us. Like
no,
that's the point. And
that
that's
is
why
the
we
goal.
use digital. That's why digital has become so important to the future because everyone's got one of these.
Yeah,
But how do we connect it in a positive and curated way that's going to make me feel better about myself than trying to make me feel like a shell of a person trying to be like somebody else that's not me?
yeah.
Like this is what traditional social media is doing, and why Mark
Oh,
Zuckerberg is on in Congress testifying because those algorithms are making people feel worse. They're not making people feel better. And so this is where we can come into this market and say we are authentic intelligence. We are curated storytelling. We are all of these things that allow people to understand themselves because when you understand here, you can understand there. Right now we go, hey, help me understand. And then we're like, uh-oh, on the way in. We get the order wrong. We go here to come here. This whole concept is come here to go there. And this is the big opportunity, but it's also what I've seen my whole life. And I see it work in person. And there's no reason that it's not going to work digitally.
I
Dude,
too.
Jay, we'll get you
Yeah,
out of here on this because you are. I could sit here and go in so many different directions, but
Yeah, we just got
we
to
I
one story.
I know, I know, dude. We're gonna have to have you back on, but I
there's
want I
there's
I want to
proof
put
of
this
that.
on the schedule now because bringing you back on, when would it make sense to have you back on to align with the next steps for you and Rise and Shine?
Oh, over the next couple of weeks, we're getting all like our online materials, our new website done, our new we're in the App Store already. You can download
Okay,
us in the App Store, RISExSHINE, one word.
okay.
You can download us, and basically what it'll say is like, thanks for downloading the app. You're in the wait list. So when we're ready to go, you get the first offer. We're gonna start our pre-sale, which is most likely it's gonna be like $2. We have tech to pay for, we all of these things. We're not gonna have people pay a bunch of money, but $2 for a better mental health, like that's one of the things we want to do. So we're going to start our pre-sale
Seems like a fair investment, Gordo. Can you handle that math?
yeah, Gordy, you got $2, right? You can sell a few
I
more
got two
houses,
bucks in.
bro.
I'm not only gonna use this for kids. I could use this too, man. I could
No,
use
no,
this.
exactly. And this is also very relevant to the conversation. This is not for kids, it's for
Yeah,
adults as
it's
well.
for
Like
adults.
we're
Yeah.
not even allowed to market to kids under 13. Like this is not for kids.
Well, even
This is an adult thing.
you can only imagine because even as three guys on this pod that made it, quote unquote made it, we still have identity crises after we're done playing because
100%.
we never, you don't find out who you are when you're locked into a sport. You are an athlete. That's who you are. That's everything that you are. Some people are more locked in, and it's all of their personality but everybody has its own journey, but like I've had to figure out who I am post career, right? Who am I as a person in this world that nobody really gives a shit anymore. We have our stories and we did it, but like nobody cares. Like we're retired. So
Mhm.
how are we going to give back?
Well, it's
And
also like the transition is interesting. It's like so we've already shot. So interesting, as these even keep the soccer realm going. Like our launch campaign is called the Beautiful Game, right? So it's all around soccer. This is where we're starting to sign up soccer clubs because it's all around soccer. So we've already shot Steve Cherundolo and me in traffic at El Trafico. It's a 45-minute podcast about tactics, mindset, rivalry. One episode. Then we have John Thorrington, GM of LAFC. What's it like to be a GM? He talks about
Yeah.
tactic. What's his best signing? How did they actually land that signing? What's it like to be a GM? What's your day to day? It's GM stuff. Like that's episodes with John, right? And then we met with Lauren Sussman and Chris Winger, now practicing agents and people in the agency game of like, how do you take care of players and all this stuff? So we have a Q&A with them. We shot Carleen Jackson, who is a former collegiate soccer player, now FIFA's only registered female artist. She paints live at World Cup. She does these amazing art murals and stuff like this. That's all around the beautiful game. Like imagine a soccer player transitioning into being one of the greatest artists in the world, like now working for FIFA and painting at World Cups. Like what a sick transition.
Mhm.
Can't we provide that for everybody? Can't we provide those digital tools so people can actually exit and do that healthily instead of saying flat, see ya, fuck you, never mind, good luck out there, we're on to the next. Like this is where we live, but yet these are the stories we need to tell so we help people do it. I just met somebody yesterday or this last weekend whose brother plays at Ohio State. He got shot in a drive-by. He's a collegiate soccer player, was the captain of the U17 Canadian team. I'm like, get me to Ohio. We need to tell this story. And now
Yeah.
he's back. He's died 3 times, and now he's back and he's training preseason at Ohio State right now, dude.
That's
Like
great.
that's a story we need to tell. That's a
Yeah.
soccer story that needs to inspire other kids to say, like, stop being a fucking wimp and go
Yeah.
out there and perform. Because there's out there people that are out there and doing it. There's
Yeah.
there's people out there being a part of this game and the biggest ecosystem on the planet, which is the beautiful game, which is the soccer system. We're so fortunate to be a part of that we get to
That's
live in this environment. But are we telling stories of the greenskeeper who gets to make that, you know, the old Trafford turf like that? There's science and biology all over that
Mhm.
episode. You know
It's
what I mean? And then you go
perfectionists.
behind the locker room and what does
There's
the kit man
perfectionists
do?
all over it, right?
Exactly. What does the
Yeah.
CEO do? How do you run a club? How do you manage the salary cap? These are all parts of the game. But yet, are we talking about it? Are we telling episodes about it? Are we personifying those stories so some 16-year-old in Wisconsin can be like, I know I'm never going to be the next Messi anyway, but that GM role looks pretty cool for me because guess what? I love math and I love business. Cool. Now that gives me this clear pathway so I don't have to fall on my face and go try to be like somebody else. And so this is really the programs and the curriculums we're building and curating right now. So come fall, I'm road tripping to probably somewhere between 15 and 20 cities all around the US and North America. I got an RV, we're wrapped. I brought it to TST. You guys saw it. And
Yep.
so we're going around with the app. We're going to do events with EA. I think we're going to do like an NFL combine type thing to create EA cards for players. And so we'll invite teenagers from all these clubs. We're going to do it through the universities. And so anyone can come. And so it's not like club oriented. We'll do it through the university system and they got great centers to throw these events. And so that'll happen in the fall, most likely September, October. And so have people look out for that. And before then is probably when I'll hop on and we'll promote it and have a better version of the story from this thing. Because eventually we just send everyone here and say, go
Yeah.
download, have fun, play.
I just
Dude,
want to say
this
this
this is gonna
before
be
we
fun.
close, Gargs. I just want to say this, man. This is the part of the reason that I can't put into words most time because you guys know how good I am with words and kind of reflection. But this is part of the stuff that I forget when I talk about TST. Okay, like these stories. When I first heard that story from you and Kyle Martino and what he's doing with the game and playing on the streets and Nick Raimondo giving back to the community, that stuff fills me up, man. And I just want to commend you for doing something that is really special and it can really make a difference in kids' lives. And we're talking about lives, right? A lot of the time we talk about the game and what can you do with the game. And like you said, there's a very small, lucky few that get to go all the way and experience some of the stuff that we experience. But for everybody else, what is next? What is your life going to look like? How can we make a difference in people's lives as adults? So I just want to say,
Mm-hmm.
if you're listening to this, stay close. This could make a real big difference in your kids' lives and other people that you can pass it along to. I think this is one of the good things that is really, truly coming out of somebody that has done some special things in this game. So stay tuned. If we can, we'll get a link. We'll get with you. We'll get a link so they can kind of follow along this journey. And when it pops, I want it to hit the masses because I think it is really, truly that special. So, dude, I love you, man. I love listening to you talk. That was phenomenal.
Jay,
I love it.
when we get a little bit closer to this launch, definitely going to have you back on. I would love to know the dates and the locations where you're traveling to on the bus, on the Vibes bus, which is a
Oh,
lot of fun to be a part of. I have no doubts that me and Gordo could make a special appearance and be a part of one of those pit stops. And we would love to do it. So appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you sharing all the information. You are one of the pioneers of our sports, and like you said, the beautiful game it extends in so many different areas that we got to continue to push and reach and shine some light into those corners on some of this stuff that maybe isn't the most high profile opportunities that people just pour into to be around it and to be around these moments that are playing in Amsterdam or these moments that are growing up in Wisconsin because they're just as special. So you've offered an awful lot today, and we appreciate you being a journeyman. We appreciate you being here, and we'll circle back with you soon and get you back and see what Dax has to offer to this conversation because
oh,
he's on his
we'll add
own
one
journey
more.
right now
We'll add
and
one.
touching another pace.
I love it. No, and again,
Yeah,
it's
it'll
always a
be
pleasure
good,
for me.
man.
I love sharing my story. It is my passion. It is my purpose. Again, and what I love about it, it's called Rise and Shine. It's not called Jay DeMerit, and because it's not about me. It's not. I'm a story in the wheel,
Hmm.
and I'm just happy to lead it. I'm proud to lead it. I'm capable of leading it. All of it has led to this, and this is what it's about. But again, it's about not about me. It's about all of us, and everyone knows, everyone sees the problems, everyone wants to help, everyone wants to support. Community needs to be redefined, and this is how we do it. And again, I'm just happy to be a part of this community, and thank you for having me on and helping me share my stories and share this message of all these things that we care so deeply about, and about this game. And this game has gifted us so much in this life, and if we can gift that back and help young players become the best versions of themselves, then that's the gift. That's the gift we can keep giving, and this is how we do it. So again, we'll keep in contact, and looking forward to our next one.
All right, brother.
That sounds great.
Signing off for
Journeyman, we
now.
are out. Adios.